Hi everybody, welcome back. You are watching Philosophy with Kerry. So, today's video we are going to talk about astral projection again, but on a follow-up. This is my kid. What I have to. This is Smokey. Smokey, say hello. A couple of people who I wanted to mention in the follow-up here is, first of all, Edgar Cayce. Edgar Cayce was a very educated and respected man who was known as the sleeping prophet. So Edgar Cayce basically would go into a type of hypnosis. He would be induced by a person who was in the room with him, and when this happened, he would start to deliver information, generally from the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records is a place where you can collect information from everybody's thought forms that are in a type of other dimension that you can tap into. A lot of people would see the Akashic Records as a type of library. I have before gone to a type of library, which I'm not sure if that was the same as the Akashic Records in general, or just my own personal one, but I know that I could get any kind of information from there that I wanted. Best way to describe it is as a very circular room that goes very high up like a tower, and the walls are filled with bookshelves and winding staircases, and you can kind of travel up, and they also have these arched windows. Again, I'm not sure if this was my own personal version of this or whether everyone who has travelled there has had a similar experience. But back onto Edgar Cayce, from a very young age he discovered he had abilities. He would sleep with books under his bed and generally be able to know everything about them. He started contacting angels, telling him things that he could do, and at first he was kind of unaccepted about this, and then after a while people understood and accepted him and realised that his visions were correct and something that they couldn't explain. So he ended up having a lot of patients. So these patients would come to him for any questions that they had in their life regarding their personal life or their health or anything in general, and he could answer very correctly. He helped a lot of people, and he is really worth looking into. He also told us a lot of information that we know today and that we have come to understand. Another great person to mention would be Robert Monroe. Robert Monroe was said to bring the essence of astral projection into the Western world. At first he kind of wanted this to stay a secret, and he just documented it in his own personal journal, and that personal journal ended up getting passed on to a trusted friend when he was ill in hospital. And when the friend kind of assumed that Monroe would not get better, he then gave it to a publisher, and the publisher thought it was an incredible account of records because it was a collection of his astral projection experiences, And so from that, they published it. Well, Robert Monroe got better, came out of hospital, and then was told that pretty much his journal had gone to a publisher and they really, really wanted to publish it. So from that, his work, I mean, he was really caught between worlds because he really, really wanted to keep all this a secret. It was his personal life. But then on the other hand, he really liked the idea of fame, and then not only from fame, people's understanding and maybe connection with people who had just experienced the same things to make him think he wasn't loopy. So his journal is out to the public now. It is said it is in his first book, which I do have, and I will put a little picture here. He has a lot of his first recollections and documentation around his first experiences in the astral world. Robert Monroe also, I am quite sure he created, if not he enhanced knowledge of, but I'm quite sure he created binaural beats. Binaural beats are the form of one frequency going into one ear through headphones or type things. One frequency goes into one ear, one frequency goes into the other ear. This opens parts of your brain. So did a lot of research in his institute. He has his own institute, which is the Monroe Institute. Did a lot of research in there, and with that he summed up that 4 Hertz was the best frequency to induce an astral projection. I would probably recommend 4 Hertz. Really, whether you are spiritual or not, they will generally be good for you in some kind of way, shape or form. Edgar Casey also has an institute. His institute is the ARE Institute. I will put a picture here. This institute is said to hold all of his records from all of his past clients and all of the past hypnosises that he underwent. So basically in there you're looking at a gold mine, because his predictions have always been so accurate. Quite sure that he did say that he was Jesus or a reincarnation of, but still a lot of his stuff came true, and honestly I love the guy. All of the recorded mythical and wonderful ancient places in our history, aka ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, and even places such as the mythical Atlantis. I will definitely do a video on that. All of these places are said to have been very renowned for work in astral projection fields, but for very high society people, although I'm not really sure they could say only high society people did this and it was super secret, because really there would have been a lot of the public doing it under their noses. Astral projection was also very well known with the Dogon people. I will also do a video about them because they are also super cool. Okay, let's get on to tips and tricks. Basically, one of the biggest tips out there, which everybody recommends, I guess, is keeping a really healthy pineal gland. You want to keep your pineal gland healthy, because this is the source of DMT that comes through and is naturally released in your brain. It's nothing to be scared of. This natural release into your brain will open different parts of your brain to seeing through the third eye. The pineal gland is, in essence, the third eye. So it's very important to keep your third eye's vision good. I mean, if your eyes were bad, you'd go to Specsavers. It's supposed to be around it, but I think you can generally feel it if you're in touch with it. Not like you can feel an eye. Come on, guys. Like you can sense that you have something really special there. If you think that you've had a really unhealthy life and you are quite worried that you're probably never going to get there because it's probably calcified with a huge layer, don't worry, because pretty much the intention of you opening these type of areas of your brain and becoming conscious of these types of things is going to already be slowly decalcifying it. It is very important. I think a lot of people stress about you really need to avoid fluoride. Fluoride is really bad for a lot of reasons. I will probably do a video about that too. Besides avoiding the poison with purified water and changing your toothpaste, there's always normally a natural one. There is a lot of fruits, and dark cocoa chocolate is a really great one. Apple cider vinegar, if you were keen on doing that. I mean, I did, but I mean, I'm pretty curious. Iodine. And there's a bunch. Drinking lemon water, lime water, anything in high alkaline versus acidic. When I first did this, I was terrified the first few times until I'd fully done it. I would see a goblin in the corner of my room. Scary looking bloody goblin. It was kind of stern looking, but it was really just like mossy and scary horned goblin. I mean, I did feel afraid just because of the sight of it, but I didn't really feel like it was going to harm me. I was just kind of freaked out by the look of it. I was being really judgmental, I guess. That really put me off, and every time I would see that, I would just jolt back into my body. Another fun fact, another way to know when you are going out of body, when certain body parts start falling asleep and they jolt, is generally because you are slowly slipping out and you are pulling yourself back in. So I started watching a lot of scary movies because I really wanted to do it. I wanted to not be afraid of it, and I just wanted to be fearless in general, I guess. Nevaeh, my eldest daughter, because this was 5 years ago, my youngest is only 2. So when Nevaeh would be asleep, Mummy would watch scary movies. That really helped, and I did it, and I never saw the goblin again. And when I was talking to my best friend Rihanna, I will definitely grab her along into all of this at some point. But when I was talking to Rihanna, she said to me, "Why were you afraid of the goblin? Goblins are good. They're supposed to protect you." And I was like, "Really? Oh my god." Funny you should say that. I didn't actually feel like it was going to hurt me. I just felt scared of it. And then she said, "Well, research it." So I did, and it turns out that they are just very quite protective of protecting you against entities and things like that. So that was great news. Also, if you believe you will be able to do this, generally you will manifest it. You don't have to be asleep to do this. I've done it many times, just meditating, and even in, for example, Reiki, I'm a Reiki master, and because I did Reiki in a shop, I would have clients that I would do Reiki for. Because I'm very visual, I would normally see things, and a lot of the times those Reiki sessions ended in tears. Good tears, not bad tears, but a lot of the times they ended in me seeing something, because it's very important to trust what you see, what comes to you. I learned this when I was working with clients, because the more that I would see, I would just tell them, I wouldn't filter it. And I never had a healing experience where I was wrong about what I was seeing, or where it didn't relate to who I was healing in some kind of way. Sometimes it would even go into a past lifetimes, and that would still relate to them in some kind of way, because they would say, oh, well, I called my daughter that name that you were mentioning, or just some kind of way it would always relate to them. Don't be afraid of what you see, and don't judge it too much. Judge it afterwards, after you have firstly believed in yourself, and secondly given yourself chance to study what you have seen. Here's a few techniques. Firstly, as I said, binaural beats or meditation. The trick is to let your body fall asleep, but keep your mind alert. There is a technique which worked for me personally, which is called the rope technique. Now, this is a great beginner technique. You would lay down and first of all just let all of the thoughts that are filling your head exit your mind. And then from there, you would start to imagine the room around you and yourself and your physical body in the room. So you would start to imagine all of the little things that are in your room that are of remembrance to you, or that will stand out to you as you are doing this. And you would also concentrate on the width of the room and the walls, the floor, the lighting. Try and keep it dim though. And the ceiling, and just focus on even the bed or couch you are laying on. Probably a bed if you're in a room, I guess, but you might not be in a room. So focusing on all of that, and then focusing on your body by focusing on each body part and how it is starting to feel sleepy. But really thinking, because you want to keep your mind awake, you want to keep that connection solid with you. The mind is your consciousness, which in essence is your soul. So when your mind is talking to you, trust it and listen. So start to imagine yourself moving, but without your body moving. So start to imagine you lifting as if you have a ghost leg, as if you have a ghost body. You are lifting parts of your ghost body. So you are lifting parts of that spirit body away from the conscious body. Once you have relaxed into this, and also don't overthink the steps I've told you too much, relax into them. Don't constantly be thinking of moving body parts. Just take it slow and slowly ease into it. It's important for this to be a very slow and easy process. Once you have done this long enough, for a long enough duration, you should then hit a vibrational stage. You may hear the white noise type noise. You may literally feel like you're vibrating, or you may just feel like you are physically beginning to flow, or that you are literally going to flow. Now, when you feel like this, start to imagine a rope fall from the ceiling. Hold on to the rope and slowly climb the rope out of your physical body. Eventually, you should be out, and that means just being able to walk off and explore and feeling like you are really doing this. It's a totally different sensation, and you will kind of know, you will have all your senses, but you will be aware that you are no longer in connection, but still connected with your physical body. Another technique people say is to literally just roll over when you get to that vibrational stage. Could work. It didn't work for me, but it could work for you. Also, some people, when they are about to, when they get to the vibrational state, begin seeing effulgence type images behind the eyelids. What can we do in the astral? Literally anything. Okay guys, I will leave this video here. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, hope to see you guys next time.